Welcome to Animania Chronicles, where we dive deep into the captivating worlds of anime, dissecting stories, unraveling characters, and sharing our passion for all things animated. Welcome to part 7 of our 8-part review series on the anime, The Eminence in Shadow. In this episode, the plot thickens as our protagonist's secret maneuvers begin to reveal their true impact on the world around him. We'll discuss key moments, character arcs, and the mounting tension that leads us towards the series' climax. Join us as we break down the exciting events and theories for the final episode. A few weeks later, she observed from a tower that many strong warriors had gathered in the capital for the Bushin Festival. He was excited as many strong black knights planned to win the Bushin Festival in the capital. She knew that many powerful nobles and spectators would be cheering on the fighters. As a result, he planned to enter the tournament and pretend to be a weakling in order to reveal his true strength just before losing. In the afternoon, Gamma entered her mansion and was happy to see her master. Unfortunately, she stumbled, and Sheed said that he was planning to disguise himself and enter the Bushin Festival. Gamma asked why he didn't want to reveal his identity, but Sheed replied that it was a secret. Following this, Gamma showed him a cream that worked similarly to the slime that all shadows use for their clothing. He was surprised by the slime item, and she asked what identity he wanted. He replied that he wanted to look weak, and Gamma suggested Jimmy Neutron to him. He liked her idea and chose Jimmy. Gamma activated a crazy machine that changed his appearance, resulting in him looking like a weak person. He contorted his body to look even weaker. He knew that Gamma was a genius, but she still had absolutely no athletic abilities. The following day, Anaros, who had summoned an ancient warrior at the last goddess's trial, was in the capital. She discovered Sheed and gave him the advice to forget entering the Bushin Festival. He replied that she shouldn't judge him and smiled because his plan worked. Suddenly, a strong warrior appeared, and Quentin told Jimmy that he had no chance in the Bushin Festival. Sheed said he was stronger than Quentin and was beaten up by him. Sheed saw that Quentin was an amateur and found options to kill the gorilla in front of him, but it was written on his bucket list that he wanted to win the tournament as an unexpected newbie. For this reason, he didn't fight back and let Quentin beat him up. Then, Anaros stopped Quentin, and everyone thought that Jimmy was a weakling. Anaros was able to stop the fight but didn't because she wanted to show Jimmy that the Bushin Festival could get even more painful. Suddenly, she realized that Jimmy was unharmed and understood that he was not a weakling. A short time later, he planned to register for the Bushin Festival, and everyone thought he was a weirdo. He then ordered a burger at Four Guys and planned to show his true eminent power when the tournament really reached its climax. Hayo planned to bet on the fights and asked him to lend him money. Sheed showed Hayo a pendant and walked away because he didn't want to lend him money. In the evening, he went home with a bag of cheeseburgers, and Rose appeared behind him. She said she went to Four Guys with her friends a few days ago, and the food was delicious. Following this, she learned that they planned to make the world a better place. Suddenly, she told him that she would soon see her father and that he was going to introduce her to her future fiancé. Afterward, she said that she was the princess of the land of art and culture. She told him that she was saved by a masked hero in her childhood and since then wanted to learn the path of the sword. In the end, she told Sheed that she had chosen a path that no one would tolerate. Sheed said goodbye and gave her his last cheeseburger. The next day, the preliminary round started, and Yoros said that he was collecting data on the battles. He begged Sheed to lend him money, and Golden Gill, the unbeaten legend, appeared behind them. Golden Gill said that he would win the Bushin Festival because he could calculate the power levels of the fighters. After that, the fight of Jimmy was announced, and Golden Gill said that the bodybuilder had a power level of 1300. Hiro believed Gill's lies and told him that Jimmy was very weak. Suddenly, Gonzalez was defeated, and everyone didn't want to accept the result. The reason for this was that she had defeated the enemy at the speed of light, and only Anaros was able to see the blow. Following this, Jill said that he would easily defeat Jimmy in the main event. Sheed returned, and Hayo didn't even notice that she was gone. Meanwhile, he noticed that Anaros was able to follow his movements and was looking forward to the tournament. The following morning, Hiro showed up at his door and had something important to tell him. She learned that Rose had stabbed her fiancé with a knife and had run off. Meanwhile, Beta and Alexia found out about the news. They learned that the Oriana Kingdom wanted to handle the matter internally and asked the Migger Kingdom not to interfere. Alexia found the actions of the Oriana kingdom suspicious, and Rose was on the run from the knights who were hunting her. Following this, Alexia planned to find Rose, but Beta believed she didn't say anything to them because Rose didn't want to cause them any problems. Alexia didn't want to let her friend down and was angry because they had vowed to work as a team. She told Beta that she didn't plan to abandon their friend Rose. Then Alexia said that she would ask her sister for advice, and Beta planned to feed her some information to slow her down. Afterwards, she was told about Rose's whereabouts and believed that the cult of Diablos was behind it. In the afternoon, she was reading the newspaper, and Hiro was nervous because he was betting on the fights. She believed that there was a big event and planned to deliver a great performance as Eminence in Shadow. Suddenly, she went to prepare for his fight and met an elf on his way to the toilet. She told him that she was looking for an elf and that she should look a lot like her. Then Beatrix revealed her face, and she was surprised to meet the aunt of Alpha. Suddenly, he was attacked, but he knew that she was going to stop right in time. As a result, he pretended to be a weak background character. Beatrix said sorry because she could sense his power and was surprised that he couldn't dodge her attack. Then we see Quentin, who asked Inaros if she was watching the third round yesterday. She was asked about the fight of Jimmy, and they both were sure that his victory didn't look like luck. Suddenly, Inaros told him that she never expected anyone to be fast enough that her eyes couldn't follow the movements, but it seemed that his right hand moved. Afterwards, Golden Gill's fight began, and Inaros said that he was undefeated because he never fought an opponent stronger than him. Following this, Quentin was looking forward to the fight because he wanted to find out whether Jimmy was using an artifact or just hiding his true powers. A short time later, the fight started, and Jimmy dodged the attack. He cast an illusion on Gill, and his opponent sensed the danger. Then, Inaros said that Jimmy was not a normal person and cracked his neck to dodge Gill's attack. Quentin didn't understand his technique, and Inaros was confused herself. In the meantime, Jill was angry at Jimmy and thought that his opponent was looking down on him. Gill couldn't believe that a weakling with a power level of 10 thought he could humiliate him, and he launched a strong attack. He said that his strength level was over 4,000, but Jimmy defeated him by accidentally sneezing on him. However, everyone was shocked by the result, and Jimmy was declared the winner of the fight. Quentin didn't know what happened, and Inaros explained to him that he just sneezed on his opponent. She told him that Jimmy had pointed his sword at Gill while he was sneezing. He was shocked, and Quentin thought that she was just kidding. After this, she tried to copy his technique and started to crack her neck several times. Later, Iris told Lord Percy about the security plan for the main Bushin Festival tournament. Next week, she asked the King of Oriana if he was sure he didn't want to increase security. Lord Percy replied that he was not worried, and she noticed that the king was acting like a puppet. Later, she defeated her next opponent, and everyone couldn't believe that a weakling like him won all of his fights. The audience couldn't figure out how he was winning and was confused. Meanwhile, Hiro lost all of his bets in the Bushin Festival, and no one wanted to lend him money. After the fight against Quentin, he went to the toilets, but on the way, he met Inaros. She warned him and told Jimmy that she could see his every move and that he shouldn't expect to win his fight against her. She'd smiled because he was perfectly prepared for such a moment. He then said that he had the weights or chains that held him back, and Inaros was stunned. She thought she had seen through his trick, and she wondered why she was cracking her neck. Later, we see Rose being hunted by a group of Black Knights. She made sure not to hit their vital points and tried to escape. The following morning, she remembered his last fight and realized that he needed his own slogan. He couldn't think of a good slogan to say to his opponents in battle. Then, Hiro appeared at his door and wanted to tell him something important. He told Sheed that there was a bounty on Rose's head, and he wanted to get the 500 million berries. Sheed wasn't interested and would have liked to have watched her stab her fiancé. Suddenly, he spotted his sister and immediately got dressed to escape from CLA. He jumped out the window with Hiro, and CLA rang his doorbell. Then we see Sheed again, and he would have liked to ask Rose in person what inspired her to stab her fiancé. Suddenly, he heard a person playing the piano and remembered his previous life when he was forced to learn to play piano. He didn't think it was a bad idea to learn to play the piano because it fit perfectly into his Eminence of Shadow plan. As a result, he learned to play many famous piano pieces and had a lot of fun doing them. After this, he realized that the person was playing Beethoven's Piano Sonata No. 14. and he became curious. He thought that someone like him might also be reincarnated into this world, but he found out that the person was Epsilon. As a result, he was disappointed and told her that he was surprised to see her. Despite this, she was happy that Epsilon was having fun, but he was shocked that she was seen as a talented composer. She told him that she was invited to the Oriana Kingdom, and he asked if she had any information about Rose's incident. Afterwards, he wished her a lot of fun in the Oriana Kingdom and left the room. He discovered a piano and wanted to play it. In the meantime, Beta told Alexia that Lord Percy was working with the cult. She planned to slow Alexia down in her investigation about Rose. However, they went into an underground tunnel and searched for clues to find Rose. Beta wanted to go back to the city, but Alexia refused and was annoyed to babysit Beta. Then we see Rose, who was wondering if she had made the right decision. She remembered the day when she met her father again after a long time. However, she realized that her father had become a zombie who had drunk way too much of purple drink. Rose decided to kill Lord Percy to save her father, but Percy already controlled all the nobles. That's it for today. Stay tuned for the finale of our The Eminence and Shadow review series. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the vast realms of anime. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned for more thrilling reviews and discussions. Until next time, keep exploring the boundless wonders of anime with us.